It's a cool late afternoon fall day on the campus of Notre Dame on this mid-November Saturday, but the mood is plenty bright for the final regular season home game. Another senior day is being celebrated inside Notre Dame Stadium today as head coach Marcus Freeman hopes to cap it all off with an 8th straight win, keeping his team's hopes alive of joining the first ever 12-team college football playoff coming our way next month. But Tony Elliott and his Virginia Cavaliers have other ideas coming off a big upset win over ACC rival Pitt last week. Nothing would be sweeter for him and the Hoos than to knock off another ranked team. But as for the 29 players, it very well could be their final game at Notre Dame Stadium, the final time to take those legendary steps. Tap that legendary sign and take all the emotion in that comes with wearing the golden helmet of Notre Dame. Final players being introduced. Some of the images from just earlier of the players being accompanied by family and loved ones coming out. Emotional day. Not easy to balance this emotion and then get ready to play football as we join the last 6 introductions live for you. Starting off with defensive lineman Howard Cross. You can see out injured today, but expected back soon. Son of a Super Bowl champion New York Giant with his mom, Pia, getting a hug from Marcus Freeman. One of the big reasons why this Notre Dame defense has had one of the best years in history. And then there's tight end Mitchell Evans. He's continued the great tradition of outstanding tight ends at Notre Dame. Came back from a knee injury a year ago. Riley Leonard made an indelible mark in his only year at Notre Dame. Transfer from Duke, leading the Irish to their latest championship aspirations. And then there's Riley Mills, who's been a big part of that defense up front for Notre Dame. Just statistically on top of so many categories. Riley Mills picked up 3 sacks last week. Today in his 6th year, linebacker Jack Kaiser will play his 63rd game in a Notre Dame uniform. No one in school history has played as many. And then they call him X, safety Xavier Watts. All he did was intercept 7 passes last year to win college football's Outstanding Defensive Player Award. Again, one of the big reasons why this Notre Dame defense is having an historic season. So this is the tricky part of it. You got all this emotion, the players coming out with their parents. Jack Kaiser came out with his fiancee Megan, so all sorts of emotions swirling around Notre Dame here. That unwavering support that has had them enjoy the great careers they've had, but it's now time to play football. Kickoff, Notre Dame and Virginia, coming your way next on Senior Day. So welcome back to Notre Dame football, presented by Citi. It's the Virginia Cavaliers taking on the 8th-ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Zora Stevenson is down with Irish head football coach Marcus Freeman.
Coach, it's senior day for 29 players. What stands out about this group?
It's a special group. You know, they mean a lot to me, to this program. Just a wonderful group of guys, man, that love this place and have led it in the right way.
You called UVA a confident team. How do you overcome that confidence?
That's just having respect for your opponent. That's what you see on film. It's going to be about what we do. And the execution, the violence that we play with, we got to make this a physical game. From the time the foot hits the ball, it's time to go. And then we'll see what happens at the end of this thing.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, Marcus Freeman's latest outlook here on getting his team ready for another underdog. That is Tony Elliott, also in his 3rd season as the head coach in Charlottesville. You led UVA to that only top 10 road victory. He's had some big wins on the road, but here we go, getting ready for the 5th meeting between Virginia and Notre Dame. And a familiar face to the Notre Dame crowd here, back now with a Virginia uniform. Chris Tyree, who played 4 years here in South Bend, 3 as a running back before leading the Irish as a receiver in his final year last year. He's going to be back deep to take the opening kickoff from Eric Goins, who will send it his way. So Riley Leonard will have to wait a little bit before the Notre Dame offense gets going. Dan Hicks, Jason Garrett, Zora Stevenson here in the final regular season home game for Notre Dame. It is a short kick, and the ball comes loose, and Notre Dame's got it. Max Hurleman, 37. Wow! 4 seconds in. Well, the ball is spotted at the 25. As we're going to hear Justin Elliott put it in play here. You can't advance a fumble. As we bring in Reggie Smith here, our resident rules expert. Reggie, anything to add to that?
Well, the status of the ball is still that of a kick by rule. So because the ball was only muffed by UVA, when it's recovered, it's dead immediately.
All right, so no score. So the ball here at the 25-yard line. So Notre Dame setting up in good territory here, and it is Jeremiah Love with a good gain there for a first down and a gain of 10. Brought down by Jonas Sanker, the leader of that Cavalier defense. Here's another look at Tyree in his first trip back here to Notre Dame, and there it goes right into the arms of Hurleman.
Yeah, no doubt a lot of emotion for Chris Tyree, trying to make a play at the outset. Running up to the ball, wasn't under control, didn't keep his eyes on it, threw it, and a big muff, and Notre Dame's knocking on the door.
Yeah, going to the air for the first time, or will he? Leonard can use those legs as he has all season long, and knocked out of bounds at about the 11-yard line by Kendron Smith. So the Notre Dame offense brought to you by Papa John's. Riley Leonard in control, but despite injuries and guys in and out of different positions, that Irish offensive line, one of the semifinalists for the country's Joe Moore Award, given to the nation's outstanding offensive line unit. And there is the guy, Mike Denbrook, who runs it all. Second down and 6 here. Now the opening series for Notre Dame after the muff kickoff by their former teammate. Leonard looking for a hole on the left side, nothing there. Still able to get a couple out of it. Cam Robinson on the stop. Looked like it was going to be a loss, but Leonard has a knack of turning what looks like a loss into a game.
Yeah, if you watch Notre Dame play football this year, they're so good with the quarterback run down here in the low red zone, and don't think Virginia didn't watch that tape too. Excellent job to contain right there. Turning Riley back inside, and now a big 3rd and 4 in this situation. Probably 4 down territory for Marcus Freeman.
The fake to Love, going for the end zone for Bo Collins, incomplete. We got a flag on the play at the 15.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 5. Penalties half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
This is Leonard. The pocket's pretty clean, no doubt in that case right there. Cam Robinson taking 1, 2, 3 steps and hitting Leonard. Not a smart play at all. Had a chance to get off the field and hold him to a field goal in a sudden change situation. Now Notre Dame has new life and get ready for this quarterback run. It's coming.
Yeah, instead of a 4th and 4, right? This is when you get the bib on and get ready to be fed, right?
That's it.
Riley Leonard has 13 rushing touchdowns this season. He's going to give this one to Love, and he's going to get this one, his latest. And that is a familiar sight for Notre Dame fans. That's a rushing touchdown in 10 straight games. The 4th to do that.
Leonard and Love are an amazing combination down here close. It's just this straight downhill run, but because of the threat of 13 running the football, the holes get bigger and bigger down there. Notice the lateral quickness by Jeremiah Love. He's there, it's a jump cut. He captures the edge, he's up inside. Excellent red zone runner, Notre Dame rolling.
So Love joins a select group. Autry Denson, Jerome Bettis, and Wayne Bullock, the only guys to have done that. 10 straight games. Mitch Jeter is on for the extra point after he returned last week. And just a disaster kind of start for Virginia. It started off with Chris Tyree, the former Notre Dame return man, muffing the kickoff. Hurleman recovered it. Notre Dame took it in and has an early 7-0 lead on senior day. Jeremiah Love pay dirt again for the 10th straight game just to open the season. Only Wayne Bullock has more games with a touchdown in consecutive games. 11 turned down in the early 70s. So Jeremiah Love, a part of that great rushing attack for Notre Dame. And there's Tyree, Chris Tyree, who was part of more than 1,000 snaps here at Notre Dame. Let's see if he can hang on to this one. Earlier one was a short kick, and this time he's not going to take any chances. Fair catches it, and Tony Elliott's team will come out to the 25-yard line for the Virginia offense. Brought to you by Papa John's. Offensive coordinator Des Kitchings, also in his third year for Tony Elliott's staff. And Kobe Pace leads the way for the Virginia offense. He's a grinded-out 5'10", 215-pound back. And you'll also see a lot of Xavier Brown, a more explosive running back option for Anthony Calandria, who sets up here in his first trip to Notre Dame. Already down 7-0 as the quarterback. And a quick play out to the flat. Tyler Neville, the tight end, to get things going for the Virginia offense in a gain of 3. Tony Calandria, he started 6 games last year as a true freshman for Tony Muskett because Muskett was injured often last year. They competed for the job to start the year. In fact, Tony Elliott did not hand the job in the starting quarterback position to Calandria until a week before the opening game. And here's UVA trying to establish something on this first series. Not much there at all. But Calandria, Elliott believes, Jason, gives them the best chance to beat Notre Dame. He's able to extend plays. He's got what you call moxie out there as a QB.
He sure does. He has a little moxie. He's got a little playmaking ability to him. And you saw right there, Kitchens, the offensive coordinator, right from the start, showing some gadgetry. Got into a funny formation. They find themselves into third and manageable here on their early third down in the ball game. Notre Dame, one of the best third down defenses in the country. And here's that moxie we're talking about.
Design run for Calandria. He's not afraid to take a hit, but he takes a big one there by Christian Gray. Wow. Christian, meet AC.
Notre Dame is so good on third down defense. Teams try to do a lot of different things. When you got a quarterback like Calandria, try to run him. Christian Gray showing his physicality, shedding a blocker, and making a big hit, knocking the moxie right out of Calandria.
So that brings up fourth down. And Max Hurleman will be back deep to receive the punt for Notre Dame. It'll be Daniel Sparks, the big 6'6" punter, who just gets this one up, but he's got a huge leg, and he just drives Hurleman back all the way to the 17-yard line. And then the UVA special teams unit is able to converge. So Notre Dame leads 7-0, 11-11 left here in the opening quarter. And on Monday, Notre Dame lost a member of its football coaching fraternity when Jerry Faust passed away. Faust was hired to lead the Irish in the early 80s after a prolific high school coaching career at Cincinnati's Moeller High School. It was always his dream to be the head coach at Notre Dame. And Jerry Faust saw that dream come true. Jerry Faust was 89. He ended his coaching career coaching for Akron. You talk about a rushing attack. We're talking rush, big rush bands. How about Notre Dame's three-man band led by Riley Leonard's powerful legs and his lead vocals? And then if he can't bust loose, leave it to Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price to carry the day with their own explosive talents. No offense to Geddy Lee, the head vocalist of Rush, but this Irish power trio has been blasting hits all season. 20-plus-yard rushing touchdowns. That puts him in a select company, that triumvirate, Coach.
I like Jadarian Price playing the Neil Peart role as the drummer in Rush. One of the all-time greats.
You did. You know your Rush history. So Notre Dame, after they set up at the 25-yard line for their first series, now back here at the 20 for their second. And Leonard plays with some pressure. And it was Jameer Carter who got in on Leonard.
Hey, we talked at the outset, how this UVA team is going to play. They are a tough physical football team, and they're going to play hard on every single snap. So Notre Dame better be ready. Carter in the center of it, pushing, driving. Leonard holds a little bit, and he pays the price.
Carter gave him a hit. 6'2", 309-pounder up front there for this UVA defensive line. 2nd down and 10 for Leonard, with Love to his left. And they get it to Jeremiah, and he's up, turning a big gain of about 6-7 yards, just like that. Turns it into a manageable 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, you know, Love's one of these guys who was a great sprinter in high school. You see him make so many explosive plays, but don't go to sleep on his physicality, too. See the tough run running through tackles there, making it a manageable 3rd down. And Notre Dame is on the ball. They want to get some coverage indicators from UVA based on what they're doing pre-snap and get into their call.
See Aeneas Williams a lot in 3rd down situations. And he's protecting Leonard right now, who passes downfield. Incomplete. He wanted Bo Collins, and that'll bring up 4th down. And a punting unit for Notre Dame.
One-on-one out there. Collins versus Jam Jackson. 2 big, strong guys. Jackson sat on the route, knocked the ball away, and UVA is off the field. And the big thing for them, you see them in man-to-man coverage. Good poise at the ball, not holding them. It's been a funny start for UVA. You muff the opening kickoff. Notre Dame goes in. You go 3 and out. First time in this game they've kind of settled down. When they get this opportunity coming back the other way, they just got to get into some rhythm.
James Rendell with a beautiful punt, driving Ethan Davies way back. And he finally gets forward momentum going at the 10. But that's where Notre Dame meets him. Great punt by Rendell. 58-yarder for him to drive UVA back here to try to get something going offensively. Well, let's take a game break and check in for the first time with Jordan Cornette. Jordan, what do you got? Yeah, Pitt, the team that Virginia beat last week to snap a 3-game losing streak. They took a bye week and got things together after that. Calandria with a play fake and a nice juggling catch there by Malachi Fields, and he is a big target to try to bring down. 6'4", 220 pounds.
You come into this ball game, you say, hey, in the passing game, let's get the ball to that guy right there. Malachi Fields, he's 6'4", he plays outside, he plays inside. It's an RPO by Calandria, and you see that quick stroke that Calandria has. He's accurate with the throw, and they can't bring Malachi down. A huge play getting out of the shadow of their own goalpost.
Gain of 27 for Fields. Xavier Brown on the back. We got movement up top. And a flag comes in.
Ball start. Offense. Number 26. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So that'll put UVA back as we check out the Notre Dame defense. The real heart and soul of this run. Jack Kaiser has now played in 63 games. That's the most in Notre Dame history. Again, this is his 6th year, so he was able to rack up a lot of starts and time, but well-deserved for him. Ethan Davies was the man that moved for Virginia. And now Calandria trying to make some of it up. Wants to go deep and over the head of Chris Tyree, the former Notre Dame player.
Just quickly on Notre Dame's defense, as good a unit as there is in the country. One of their leaders up front, this guy right here, Riley Mills, 3 sacks last week against Florida State. The get off, they put the back on him, they put the guard on him, and he's just around the quarterback. Snap after snap, Calandria taking a shot down the field, but Notre Dame is so good on all 3 levels. It starts with the big guys up front.
Those 3 sacks last week, giving Riley Mills, big number 99, 6 for the year. So now 2nd down and 15 for Calandria. And he's going to give it to his back, number 0, Xavier Brown. Again, the more explosive of the 2 backs.
One of the things that Notre Dame fans have to be excited about, we talked about the veteran Mills. How about the young guys? This is Bryce Young. He's a freshman. Down the line of scrimmage. He's blocked field goals. He's blocked punts. He's making plays in the running game. They got a lot of young players who will be cornerstone players, household names for Notre Dame years to come. That guy right there, Bryce Young, he's going to be exceptional.
And now let's see what kind of heat Al Golden's defense brings on Calandria here. 3rd and long. Calandria hanging in the pocket, now has to come out of it, running, trying to stay on his feet, and does so. Gets it across the 45-yard line. That'll bring up 4th and about 2 or 3, so Calandria got a lot of it back.
This is what Calandria does. He's got people all around him. His quickness, he tries to keep his eyes up, looking like a young Drew Brees. He makes people miss. He's going to try to finish. He's going to try to make it. And Tony Elliott's still got him out there. It's 4th and 2.
Yep. Tony Elliott says Calandria might be listed at 6 feet. He's 5'10", he says. Maybe 5'11" at best.
I like this decision. You don't come to Notre Dame and lay up.
Calandria is going to pass it. The ball is tipped and incomplete, and Notre Dame takes over. It looked like Calandria was going for his tight end Neville, but it was tipped, and so it never really got on track.
That's the guy we're talking about right there, Jack Kaiser, the 6-year veteran. They try to run a stick route, tipped inside, Kaiser right there. Notre Dame's off the field.
Yeah, Clemson's still very much a part of the ACC picture here. So much on the line with more matchups around college football today. Notre Dame has not only hopes of making it to the college football playoff, but perhaps hosting a first-round playoff matchup. We'll wait and see. They start here at the 46 after UVA gave it up on downs. A flag comes in as Jeremiah Love was the carrier.
Holding. Offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And that comes on Pat Coogan, the center.
Just really at the end of the down, Coogan is grabbing. When you see that cloth, they're going to call it every time. Red, just a little side note on Cade Klubnik from Clemson scoring that touchdown. He and Jaden Greathouse, teammates playing for Todd Dodge down there at Austin Westlake, 2 Texas legends. They had great success down there, having a big impact on their programs.
Here is a design quarterback run. Leonard looking for some room, nothing going. Leonard has racked up more than 600 yards on the ground. He's been just such an important piece to the Notre Dame puzzle. It's still developing as you look at his passing yards, but those 13 rushing touchdowns have been so important to maintaining this winning streak for Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator. He says we're not there yet. In his words, he says there's still some meat on the bone. We can get this offense playing better and a lot better down the stretch of this season. 2nd down and 21. Leonard back to pass. Looking for some time. Goes to that always available option of running. But still, that's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Love what Denbrock told us. He said, we believe in the motto of not peaking too quickly. So, kind of funny. He's an outstanding football coach. Great success at LSU with Jaden Daniels last year winning the Heisman Trophy. And Notre Dame has found their groove because they've embraced who they are. But don't think Virginia's not ready for this running quarterback. They've done an excellent job early on in the ball game, in the red zone, in regular down and distance, and now Notre Dame is in 3rd and extra long.
Denbrock said it's been more of a challenge than he actually thought it would be to develop this whole well-rounded offense. Leonard on 3rd and long goes to his tight end, Mitch Evans, and he gets it just past the original line of scrimmage to bring up 4th down.
I love the decision by Riley Leonard there. Sometimes in those situations, you get a little frustrated with how you got in that 3rd and long situation. You can force a ball. I think his big growth this year has been aggressively taking what the defense gives him. They played soft, they played out of there, throw it underneath, play some field position, punt it down there, and play complementary football. Excellent decision there.
So Ethan Davies will await the latest James Rendell punt. Rendell's punt, first one, was a boomer of 64 yards. He's just trying to pin UVA back here, so he kind of spins it back. And a fair catch is caught there by Davies. 7-0 Notre Dame. We check in with Zora. Zora?
Thanks, Dan. This is Chris Tyree's first time back in South Bend since he graduated from Notre Dame in May. We saw him pregame saying hey to old teammates and support staff. He told me he's a proud alum and still has a lot of love for Notre Dame, but called this week a business trip, of course, after that opening kickoff. Not the ideal start for the Notre Dame alum.
Yeah, he was really once viewed as the heir apparent. Remember Kyron Williams, the Notre Dame outstanding running back who's now starring for the Rams of the NFL, but that didn't quite pan out. Tyree still gained some valuable yards for Notre Dame, but playing his final year here with Virginia. And Calandria gives it to Kobe Pace, who maybe gets a yard, and that is it.
And this is what Virginia has to be able to do against Notre Dame. Notre Dame is really hard to throw the ball against. One of the best pass defenses in the country, so they have to find a way to run it. It's going to be tough sledding on first down to try to hammer this Notre Dame front. I would look for them to get a guy like Tyree going on some jet sweeps to get out to the perimeter to try to run the ball that way early on in this game.
On second down and 8, they give it to Pace. And he's going to be well short, bringing up 3rd and long after a gain of only 2. Notre Dame just hammered its latest opponent here last week, Florida State, in that primetime matchup that looked good for a while in the offseason, but it's been a down year for the Seminoles. They beat them 52-3 as Notre Dame has run up now 50-plus points in its last 2 games.
This is what Notre Dame has done for the last 7 weeks, Dan. They've had 1 game that's been within a touchdown. They're blowing everybody out. And it starts with this defense. They keep the score down. They've been dominant, showing pressure here in this 3rd down situation. Algone loves to bring heat.
So Calandria is going to go to the air on 3rd and 5. Heinisch is chasing him. Calandria gets it off, but that's incomplete. And that'll bring up another punting situation for UVA. Notre Dame's defense doing what it does.
It's what I love about Algone. He's just so unafraid to bring pressure. It's pressure here, it's pressure there. They're going to play some man-to-man coverage. They're not going to let Calandria sit back there and be comfortable. Get him off the spot, guard him on the back end, and knock the ball away. They're off the field again. They're an elite 3rd down defense. And
they just keep plugging in guys. You saw Heinisch there chasing Calandria. He's in for Howard Cross today, who's out with a sprained ankle. They expect Cross to be back and available next week, but we'll see. This is Hurleman fielding it at the 40 and then now backtracking. And finally brought down at about the 37-yard line. So the Irish off that muff kickoff in the opening, 7-0. They lead it on Senior Day at South Bend. Senior Day at Notre Dame Stadium. Some of the guys reflecting. And Clark and Coogan, Jaden Thomas there, all a part of the 29 players who were part of Senior Day and the festivities before kicking things off. And there is Jordan Clark's father, Ron Clark, pretty successful guy, Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, popular analyst for ESPN, and make sure he's at all of these games.
Yeah. He and I were teammates with the Giants his rookie year, a long time ago. So happy for his success. He's a heck of a guy.
So they start here, trying to move the pile across the 40, which will bring up 2nd down. Notre Dame has not lost a Senior Day game in some 8 years. They've been very successful on it. And again, Coach, you're managing the emotions of that. And I mean, it's been the mantra of Marcus Freeman all year long, right? Get his team ready to play. And he had to deal with a little something extra this week.
Yeah, no doubt. With this Senior Day, he said, you're going to remember the Senior Day if you want it, guys. And so he tried to make that abundantly clear to everybody and showing their appreciation for this experience.
Leonard turns, fires, and dropped by Collins. Hit him right in the hands. Got a flag on the play.
Holding. Offense, number 9. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And that's on the tight end, Eli Raridan.
Yeah, Raridan's on the edge here, and you know, a lot of people say, hey, we're going to leave a lot of guys in, keep the tight end in to block, but oftentimes he gets matched up with some of their best rushers. And you see him right there, Cam Butler. He's relentless in his pass rush and uncharacteristic right there. Bo Collins, he's got great hands, one of the most reliable receivers that Notre Dame has. So missed opportunity there. Tough matchup for Raritan.
In a big hole here, second down and 17. Leonard goes near side to Chris Mitchell. Not for much. Kendrick Smith on the coverage.
Yeah, second drive in a row. Notre Dame finds himself in third and extra long situations. And you see the culture that Tony Elliott's trying to instill here at UVA. These guys play hard. They sprint to the ball. They play the right way. A lot of evidence of that early on in this ball game on the defensive side. Again, Riley has to be smart in this situation, understand the game situation. Don't force anything in this third and extra situation they find themselves in.
Notre Dame 0 for 2 in third down conversions. Leonard getting some heat from his left side. It's complete to Aeneas Williams. He's short of the first down. Corey Thomas brought him down short of the line to gain.
Got a little pressure off the left-hand side here. Anthony Knapp, the left tackle. You see him? A little twist game inside. They bring an extra guy. They don't handle it very well. He and Shrouth forces Riley Leonard to move in the pocket. But how about Aeneas Williams? You talk about Price and Love. This is a freshman. Plays a lot on third downs. Been effective as a protector and as a receiver for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame going to punt it forth in a long three. Rendell spins it to Ethan Davies. Davies makes a couple miss, but that'll set up UVA at the 17-yard line, and another game break. We go to Jordan Cornett. Thank you, Jordan. So now Anthony Calandria. Looked like Notre Dame was going to blow this thing open, especially after that opening touchdown, which came after the muffed kickoff return, but it's still just 7-0. So Calandria trying to sustain something here on offense, and they'll start by running it out for a decent gain of 5 or 6.
You're going to see a lot of this from UVA. These are designed quarterback runs. It's a quarterback draw. He sets up. He has good patience. Just like Notre Dame, they take the back.
And good tempo here. But Notre Dame is ready. Heinisch knifing in there. In the words of Marcus Freeman, you just keep plugging these guys in after the injury, as we mentioned, to Howard Cross. He says, we know what we get with Donovan Heinisch. He says he may not be one of those 6'3", 6'4" guys, but he's tough, just like his older brother Kurt, who plays for the Houston Texans.
Looks like pressure on 3rd and 5. They love to play man-to-man in this situation and come get that quarterback.
Calandria to throw, complete. First down it is. So a good call there as UVA picks up the first down. Calandria keeps the sticks rolling after a gain of 12. Dakota Twitty just with his 7th reception of the season. And again, that quick tempo by the Cats. And that is Xavier Brown as we go down to the field and check in Missouri.
Howard Cross hopes to be back on the field next week. In the meantime, he's icing that sprained left ankle 9 times a day and spends hours in the training room. He's already starting to jog too. Today, though, his job is just to be there for the defensive line. He said, they'll look to me for support and leadership, so I got to make sure I'm locked in.
All right, Zora, 2nd down and 6. As the final seconds of this first quarter wind down. And that's how it's going to end. Notre Dame with that early score, but Tony Elliott still right there within touch. After the first quarter is in the books, senior day at Notre Dame. Chris Tyree, the former Irish return man, turns an early touchdown in for Notre Dame, though. Cool overcast day on the campus of Notre Dame. The Irish 8th ranked in the latest college football playoff rankings. Hang on to a 7-0 lead. But Jason Garrett, we knew that Virginia was going to play hard. That's what they've shown on tape all year long, even though they've been a little up and down at times.
Yeah, just watch them play. Line one with them is they compete, they scratch, they claw, they fight. You saw it last week against Pitt in the big win. You see it early on. Chris Tyree muffs the opening kickoff. That's what gives Notre Dame the opportunity. Other than that, this game has been fairly even. So Notre Dame, we talked about it in the open, they better buckle up and start playing, because this team is going to continue to fight.
And the guy that embodies that tough play is Anthony Calandria. In the words of Elliott, he says he really thinks he's the biggest, baddest guy on the field, and he's only 5'10".
Special.
Here we go, little gadget play here. Malachi Fields throwing it down. Ball is in the air, and it was Watts who had a chance to get it. And those are one of those funk plays that Elliott calls them, that they show up every once in a while. They had one last week against Pitt that worked out. This time it almost did.
As soon as you see Fields in his motion bounce backwards, you know something's going on there. Fields drops back, chunks it up down the field. Good job by Notre Dame being disciplined. They scored on a special last week against Pitt. Notre Dame was ready.
So that brings up 3rd and 6. And Calandria, a little more conventional pass play here, incomplete. 4th down and another punt coming up for Calandria and company as he was looking for Tyree.
Yeah, if UVA wants to beat Notre Dame today, you have to make that play. It's a 3rd and manageable situation. Tyree is open. The ball's out in front too far. Tyree can't make the spectacular catch to keep the drive alive. It's a missed opportunity by the Cavaliers. You can't give Notre Dame too many chances. They might run you out of the stadium.
So Daniel Sparks, who had a career-long 70-yard punt last year, this one not near as good as his previous ones have been. And Hurleyman hauls this in quickly at about the 29-yard line for Notre Dame's latest offensive charge. Well, Jonas Sanker is the undisputed leader of this Virginia defense. This is what he did last week in the upset win at Pitt in 3 consecutive plays in the 3rd quarter. Tackle for a loss. That forces a field goal. What does Sanker do? He goes in and blocks the field goal attempt on the ensuing play, and then on the next ensuing drive, he intercepts the ball and brings it to set up the winning score. That is the kind of guy that Jonas Sanker has been his entire athletic career.
No doubt, that's what he's all about. One of the leaders here, a great competitor. They had lost 3 games in a row. A bad loss to North Carolina. A ranked team, Pitt, comes in. That sequence right there was what allowed them to win the ball game.
Well, Notre Dame starting off this latest series with a run up the middle for not much. But those are the kinds of plays that John Rudzinski and his Virginia defense are going to need today, right, to pull off this upset.
No doubt. They're doing a good job quieting this Notre Dame run game down. A lot of guys committed to the line of scrimmage, so they got to hold up outside. And these secondary players, Sanker being the most important one, they have to make some plays on the ball if they want to tip the balance.
So Leonard gives it to Love, and he's reversing his field and losing yardage, and Virginia with a big loss. That's a loss of 10. As Love got turned around and never got things going.
We talked to Tony Elliott, and he said his job, his #1 job, is to coach the culture of the program, the hustle, the finish. And when you watch these guys on tape, look at all the white shirts running to the football. They got 6, 7, 8 guys at the end of the down making the tackle, and that's what this team does. They make it hard. It's been tough sledding so far for Notre Dame to run the football, and the effort and the hustle by this Virginia defense is really standing out.
Yeah, and they're hanging in there. Notre Dame not able to convert any 3rd down conversions yet. There have been some long ones. This one 3rd and 15. Leonard feeling pressure from his right. Gets rid of it. Pass is complete. And trying to pick up some yards is Jordan Faison, and he does a decent job of it, but still short of the 1st down. Chico Bennett on the stop. And we've got an injured Virginia player down, and that is Corey Thomas, the talented safety.
As we see what's going on with Corey, what's been amazing for Notre Dame is they've played the games on their own terms during this 7-game win streak. So far, that's not been the case today.
Good news for Virginia safety senior Corey Thomas, walking off the field under his own power. And so he goes into the tent to get looked at, and this is what happened. Looked like he might have gotten kicked in the head here, Coach.
Yeah, just chasing the ball from behind and just get kicked in the side of the head, and hard to know what exactly it is, but good to see him walking off the field.
Yeah, He's a key defensive player for UVA. He had the interception that sealed the deal at Pitt in the upset last week. So after the 4th straight 3-and-out series from Notre Dame, the ball gets loose, and at the 15-yard line, there's a scramble for it. That was Ethan Davies grabbing it back, it appeared. But that came close to a big-time turnover deep in their own territory.
You see this at the end of the down, that ball bouncing around. Davies trying to hang in there with it and just falls on it. Notre Dame special teams continues to make big plays. They did it on the opening kickoff, almost had another one there.
All right, so UVA here at the 15-yard line. Let's see if they can even things up here. Flags come in, stop it.
Ball start. Offense. Number 71. 5-yard penalty. First down.
They've gone on and on.
Really
left guard.
Yeah, really been a sloppy game so far. You look at the left guard here, excuse me, the right guard. Nanana, he's been rotating in here the last couple weeks. He's caught flinching, but neither team is playing with very good rhythm. Too many self-inflicted wounds, getting themselves behind the chains.
3rd penalty on Virginia. Costly back at the 10-yard line now, trying to get some of it back. Maybe getting 2 or 3 there is Xavier Brown. They'll bring up 2nd down and long.
And this is how they want to play. They want to feature Kobe Pace. They want to feature Xavier Brown. They're 2 running backs. They want to feature Calandri as a runner to take some pressure off this offensive line in the passing game. When you have a false start on 1st down, it creates a 1st and 15. You lose that opportunity to play with that kind of rhythm.
Tony Elliott telling us we have to have a running game. We can't have this Notre Dame defense just storming Calandria. We've got to keep him off balance as best we can, but as you said, with these penalties, forcing Calandria into
12:31 on the game clock, please. 12:31.
Passing situations, as they'll take a clock down to 12:31. It's not the way Tony Elliott drew it up either.
Thank you.
They snapped that 3-game losing streak with that win against Pitt. They started the season 4-1. They looked pretty good. Then they lost 3 straight. So they've had some really up and down patches as they're still having some clock issues here.
Please reset the game clock to 12:31 with a 40-second play clock. Clock will start on my signal. 12:31.
Everybody, including the officials, trying to find their rhythm.
Thank you.
Marcus Freeman says, can we get this thing going?
Jeez, oh, Pete.
But Calandri has also been up and down in the stretches, right? He's tossed a couple of interceptions each in the last 2 games. And now faced with 2nd down and 12 and some more Notre Dame heat. Just has to get rid of it. Brings up 3rd and long. That was Riley Mills providing the pressure on Calandria.
And Mills saved a big play right there. I love the call. You go screen. Here's Mills right here in the middle of it, pushing the pocket. You think, hey, let's let these guys rush. That's going to be better for the screen. Sometimes you get them to rush too fast, and the QB has no chance. That could have been out the gate.
Mills, 6'5", 295. Freeman said he's always gotten some good grades this year, even though he hasn't shown it in the sack department until last week. So now faced with a long 3rd down and long. Virginia just pumping it upfield on the ground. Jalen Snead bringing down Xavier Brown, and that'll bring out another punt for Tony Elliott.
The good news for Tony Elliott and UVA is that they dropped the opening kickoff, gave Notre Dame a free touchdown, and the score remains 7-0. So they're hanging in there on defense. They're getting Notre Dame's offense out of rhythm. They really haven't done much on offense themselves, but they're still hanging in this ball game.
Talked about what is at stake for Marcus Freeman and the Irish. Virginia is 1 win away from being bowl eligible, so that is what they're playing for. Hurleman called a fair catch, and then it bounced off his chest as they fight for it. And Sanker came out of it with the football. There's that big turnover as the officials are now talking things over at midfield, but they've got it spotted here at the 40. So here is Max waving for the fair catch, and then it just popping off his chest and right into the arms of Sanker.
Yeah, fair catch irrelevant there. It doesn't matter. You still got to catch the football. There was no interference there. Poised by Sanker, staying away from him, and then capitalize on it and making the play.
The kick was touched by the receiving team and recovered by the kicking team. It's first down.
Yeah, there's no real controversy there. But, you know, leave it to a guy like Sanker, right? We just talked about those plays he made at Pitt last week that just totally flipped the game. I mean, he was in the right place, right time this time, but once again, a big turnover goes Virginia's way. Let's bring in Reggie Smith here. Reggie, anything to add to what we just saw?
Absolutely. When a receiving team player signals for a fair catch, he's entitled to the unimpeded opportunity to complete that catch. Even if he muffs the ball into the air, he should still have the opportunity. It was denied.
Yeah, even though there was no way he was going to be able to get that, it just caromed off. So here's Calandria throwing on first down, incomplete. Looking for Malachi Fields.
So, Reg, let's go back to that. Are you saying he was impeded from getting the ball again? It looked like the ball bounced away from him.
Well, but even though the ball bounced away from him, he's still entitled to, try to complete the process of the catch before a kicking team player is allowed to catch that ball or touch it.
Didn't look like he had any chance to do it, obviously, but I know a rule is the rule. And Virginia here set up with a chance here. This is something that they've really got to capitalize on right now, Coach. You get the feeling. A quick toss out to the flat, and there goes Brown. And he's explosive. Picks up the first down.
And this is what UVA needs to do. They've been trying to run the ball at this Notre Dame defense. They're not stout enough inside. Get the ball out into space. Brown's the guy to do it with. He's got great quickness and speed. You saw it right there. That's the way they can effectively run the football.
The junior from Lexington, Kentucky gets the call again. He's met and then just gets back to the line of scrimmage before Kingston Viliamo-Asa, the talented linebacker for Notre Dame, brings him down.
And there's Heinisch playing that right defensive end spot. Up inside, Burnham turns it back inside. There's Heinisch. Viliamo-Asa is there. Talked about how Virginia's defense sprints to the football. Notre Dame, fantastic job right there. A lot of gold hats around the ball.
Al Golden's defense has been incredible this year. Trying to stop UVA here on this latest drive, though. And with good room is Pace. Pace picks up the first down. Ball's on the turf. Notre Dame says they have it. And there it is, the signal. Xavier Watts.
Who else
comes up with it?
The ball, Dan. It's an outstanding run by Kobe Pace. Physical, tough run, trying to finish it on the back end. But these guys in the secondary, they'll go get it. It's Rod Hurd. He puts his helmet on the football. The ball spits out. When you sprint to the ball, you get a lot of blue shirts around it. When it comes out, you're ready to make the play. And of course, it's Xavier Watts. He does this better than anybody in the country, and a huge turnaround for Notre Dame. The turnovers have been a huge factor so far for both teams.
And a huge crowd watching Watts do his thing. Of course, he was the Nagurski Award winner last year with 7 interceptions, rewarded the Defensive Player of the Year. He's got 50 people here watching this game on Senior Day, and he just comes up with a big turnover there as Notre Dame takes over here, and Leonard starts it off on the ground to Love, who spins his way and shows that dynamic running ability.
I'm going to say it again. This guy is an elite space player. Quickness, speed, explosiveness, but he's physical. He got hit 2 yards deep. He broke the tackle, finished forward, showing he's a complete back.
Gain of 8 for Love. He's got the only touchdown of the game thus far. And up the middle he goes to pick up the latest first down for Notre Dame. So they could use a little bit of offensive momentum here after we talked about those successive 3-and-outs by the Notre Dame offense after striking first off the kickoff.
Yeah, when in doubt, go to your best players. Riley Leonard, Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price. Give them opportunities doing what you do best.
Leonard, near side. Evans, pass complete. Evans feeling a little bit like himself from last year. It's been just a little more than a year after that knee injury. He picked up his first touchdown of the year against Florida State last week. As we've got James Jackson down. He had come back after being out the last several games. We'll check on number 7 when we come back. James Jackson, who missed the last 4 games, just walked off the field. Remember, Corey Thomas, their starting safety, also had to leave the field. And there's Trey McDonald, who had a targeting call in the second half last week against Pitt, so he's eligible not until the second half of this game. So UVA's injuries taking a little bit of a toll here. Second down and 7, and Jadarian Price with some freedom up the middle. Jonas Sanker finally brought him down, but we got a flag back at the 27-yard line after a gain of 20 by Price.
Holding. Defense, number 18. 10-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down.
So that tacks on another 10 to the 20 that Price gained. So 30-yard play there for Notre Dame.
Just absolutely love the 1-2 punch that Notre Dame has. You're talking about Jeremiah Love. This is Jadarian Price, well blocked up front. Coogan creating the hole for him. Just love, again, the lateral quickness of Price. He's there, and then he goes there, and then he finishes strong downhill, low center of gravity, physical runner, great combination.
Better gets the pass on first down, checks down, and he's got his man, Jaden Greathouse. And Greathouse with another first down. Deep into Virginia territory to the 25. Mike Diatta brought him down, but not before he gained 18, and he is down. The sophomore from Austin, Texas. Slow to get up.
Notre Dame is at their best when they're running the ball and complete these high percentage passes. He loves working Greathouse inside. They certainly need him.
Another injury, so we'll take another break. Greathouse being helped off the field, heading into the medical tent after his first reception of the game. Good for 17 yards and a first down. And as he was being twisted around here, you'll see him hold his right shoulder.
Yeah, that right hand went down as he was bracing the tackle. Might have jammed it up inside. They need him.
Leonard looks right, heads left, pass complete. Jaden Harrison. Harrison finds some more yardage along the left side. Brought down by Kempton Shine. Gain of 8, though.
And that's what Harrison does best. He's an elite kick returner, so why not try to do the same kind of thing? It's just a quick screen. You see Eli Raridan blocking out in space, the linemen are getting out. But again, that quickness laterally to get to the edge, that's what Harrison does.
And you can see just a little more familiarity with Riley Leonard, right? On the checkdowns and just wanting to be more aggressive. That's what Denbrock preached to him. This pass complete to Mitchell. And Mitchell, a gain of 8's got a first down. Notre Dame now rolling a bit here.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Denbrock about RPOs, run pass options. How many do they have in a game? And he said we might have as many as 20. And over the course of the year, Riley Leonard has gotten more and more aggressive throwing the ball.
You saw James Jackson being helped leading the field. So UVA depleted in its defense of trying to stop Notre Dame. And they give it to Love. Gain of 3 for Jeremiah Love, who still has the only touchdown of the game.
And that's the other thing you'll see Notre Dame do against UVA, because they play some multiple coverages. They'll play a lot of guys around the line of scrimmage, or they'll play a lot of guys deep. So they call it their scan offense. Get to the line of scrimmage, give Riley Leonard an opportunity to decipher what they're playing, and then get into the play he wants. That time they played coverage, he handed the ball off to Love.
Second down and 7 from the Virginia 8. Leonard over the middle, pass complete. to Jaden Harrison for the touchdown.
This whole thing starts up front. Notre Dame's offensive line giving Riley Leonard plenty of time back there. He starts to his left. He works back to the middle. Finds his third receiver, and Harrison coming back inside. Harrison's got excellent quickness. You see that. We saw it on the quick screen. Very good hands catch here. Notre Dame, one of the best red zone offenses in the country. Usually it's Riley Leonard and Love running it in. This time he found Harrison.
After those 3 and outs in succession, that's a 9-play, 88-yard drive for the Irish, and Mitch Jeter is able to get it through to make it 14-0. Notre Dame off the 10th touchdown pass of the season for Riley Leonard. Marcus Freeman a little happier now as we check in again for a studio update. Thank you, Jordan, and the Notre Dame faithful breathing a little easier here, although 6:34 still left in the opening half. Notre Dame up 14-zip.
Excuse me, Dan. Something happens when you're winning all these games by 30 points is there's this feeling like, hey, we're going to be up 30 right at the start of the game. And every one of those games was a fight early. You had to keep playing. You had to keep fighting. And then things break. And I think for Notre Dame here, that drive right there and that touchdown was critical. Give yourself a 2-score lead. You said it. They breathe a little easier. And all of a sudden, it put UVA's offense in a different situation against this vaunted Notre Dame defense.
And they take advantage of the Virginia turnovers. That's 14 points off of the Cavalier miscues. Tyree settling, watching this one go back into the end zone. Out to the 25 they go. Time now for the progressive game flow. And you consider Al Golden's defense. Look at the numbers of this defense. Historic, only FBS team to rank in the top 10 in all those categories out of 133 teams. And you consider what Golden has done, doing it without key players. He's lost Jordan Botelho, Boubacar Traore, Ben Morrison, the most recent of those starters to be lost for the season. Howard Cross is out today, expected back. But Al Golden told us yesterday, he says, we don't talk about who we don't have. We just move on. And that's what they have done, plugging in all that depth on the defense. So Calandria now a 14-zip hole. Incomplete pass to Tyree to start things off in this series.
And Dan, their success on defense and handling those injuries hasn't happened by accident. They very intentionally throughout training camp in the early part of the season play different combinations, play backup guys, rotate guys through, so when they get an opportunity to start, they're that much more ready to play.
Calandria, a little shovel pass here to Tyler Neville, the tight end, who's a transfer from Harvard.
This is the situation that Tony Elliott's trying to stay out of. 3rd and long. Anything over 3rd and 7, Al Golden dips into his bag of tricks and makes it really hard. There's going to be a lot of different pressures they use, a lot of different coverages. I would anticipate heating them up and playing some man-to-man against Calandria.
That's what Al Golden does. He's got the players to bring the heat. Calandria here, 3rd and 7. 1 of 6 so far today on 3rd down conversions, and he's not going to get this first down either. Notre Dame gave up the pass, but they were able to close on Neville. Rod Hurd there bringing up 4th down.
And one more time, they pressure the quarterback. They force him to get the ball out of his hand, and they trust their guys in the back end to play man-to-man. Rod Hurd forced a fumble on the last series. Now he makes a big 3rd down stop right there. A lot of different guys contributing to this Notre Dame defense.
Not much happening for Virginia's offense. Only 3 first downs. And this is Daniel Sparks with another huge punt. Horleman careful for the fair catch, and this time is able to haul it in. Well, we talked about Al Golden's team, and one of the reasons that they haven't missed a beat, we talked about the depth and the players he's able to put in there, but it's because the way he game plans opponents, Jason, even, you know, in the midst of summer, he calls it his menu, which he can just go and revisit before each game. So here's our Golden menu.
There he is. Al Golden's a Jersey Shore guy. He grew up going to diners on Route 35, and this is what he is. That's what he has. He has a menu, like a diner menu of defenses. It starts last spring. Hey, who are we playing? What do we need against Texas A&M? What do we need against Georgia Tech? Hey, do we need some hot sandwiches? Do we need something from the sea when we play Florida State? And he puts it all together, and they don't overly game plan. They just delve into what's on that menu, and that's why they play fast and play as well as they do.
Riley Leonard going to work, looking for a deep shot to Bo Collins. Nope, it's Faison, and it's incomplete. Nice defense there by Virginia. That was Kempton Shine, number 29 on the coverage of Faison.
And love the shot. They've been running the ball effectively. Now Virginia's up there playing some man-to-man coverage. Faison, one of the fastest receivers that Notre Dame has. Riley Leonard's late with the ball, giving the defender Shine a chance to come back and break it up.
So 2nd down and 10. Looks right, nothing going. Leonard gets out of it. Tries to spin his way out of another tackler, but it's Jonas Sanker who's able to bring down Leonard for a loss of 1.
Riley Leonard's a really humble guy, and he talks about his old man moves. That's what he's got right there. And I'll tell you what, Chico Bennett is a big, strong, physical man, and his old man moves allowed him to break that tackle, but Sanker was having none of it.
I like what Leonard says. He goes, I run till they tackle me. I just keep going. It's not beautiful, but it has been effective. Passing down here on 3rd down and 11 for Leonard. We got a flag on the play as Leonard goes across the middle, and it's complete to Jaden Harrison. Harrison goes to the end zone for the touchdown, but we've got a flag back after a 78-yard connection there between Leonard and Harrison. We'll wait for the call, but this could be coming back.
Personal foul. Illegal hands to the face. Offense, number 78. Penalties half the distance to the goal. It's still 3rd down.
Pat Coogan with a costly one.
Right in the middle of your screen here, this is Coogan. It's a cross dog pressure inside. They want to heat you up and play some man-to-man coverage. Coogan takes that left hand and puts it on the defender's face and leaves it there. They eventually block it the right way, but he's just trying to check him. Pretty easy call for the official right there. They're all over it. Unfortunately, with that penalty, that play would be on Riley Leonard's highlight reel for the rest of his life. He threw a dart.
That was a good one.
A big-time throw, but coming back, and now Notre Dame again finds himself in 3rd and extra long at 3rd and 22.
Leonard tries to pick up some of it. Goes back to Bo Collins, and the big Clemson transfer makes his way up the field for a good gain, but still short of the 1st down.
It's been the story for Notre Dame's offense all day. A 3rd and 16, a 3rd and 17, a 3rd and 22. You're obviously not going to drive the ball very well when you put yourself in those situations. Penalties, pre-snap penalties and holding penalties and illegal hands to the face, they've been the big culprit. They got to clean that stuff up.
3:40 left here in the opening half. Coogan with a big penalty there, which brought back the huge connection to Harrison. And now we've got a little trickery here, and it works. And how about this? Streaking down the sideline is Jordan Faison, and he gets rid of one guy and goes all the way. But we've got another flag down. That one went for 73. The previous one came back to Harrison, 78. That was a late flag that came in, really late.
You can't call this thing back. It's one of the greatest plays I've ever seen in football. Notre Dame's version of the fumble Ruski.
Oh, man.
Jordan Faison.
This crowd is ready to boo big time if they do come back with it.
Regardless, this play will be studied by football coaches all across the country. They're going to be putting it in.
You're going to see some marshmallows fly.
What are we talking about?
Which is a senior day tradition here. The students armed with marshmallows on senior day. That's a tradition. We'll see what the call is. A long conversation happening right now at the midfield stripe. Here it is, Coach.
It's the greatest play I've ever seen in football. I got to tell you that right now. It's the old fumble-rooski to Faison. Don't hand it to a guard, hand it to Faison.
And look at this next move here by Faison. Looks like he's going to be caught, jukes him.
Yeah, give him a little this, I'll give him a little that, and go run into the end zone. And Faison's a dynamic player. They call him Mr.
Illegal
Everything.
formation.
Oh.
Kicking team. It's a 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So 2 huge would-be touchdowns come back.
I absolutely love the play. They splash a little water with Jordan Love in motion. Okay, so here we go. You're there. You hand it to Kaiser. Then he hands it to Faison. It's the old fumble-rooski. And, Reg, we got to bring you in to figure out why this isn't a good formation, because it's an unbelievable play.
Well, by rule, whenever you have a kick formation, there can be a numbering exception. Ordinarily, you have to have 5 men numbered 50 to 79. However, they're probably going to say that the up back in position to receive a direct hand-to-hand snap negates this from being considered a scrimmage kick formation, hence the call for the not having enough players 50 to 79 on the line of scrimmage.
I got to tell you, Reg, I think we're over officiating. I really do. This is incredible. Yeah, take it through us 10 more times, Reg.
Okay, number 24, the up back, is in a position to receive a direct snap from the center. Because he's in this position, the nearest person to receive the snap must be 10 yards behind the snapper. 24 being there means that the offensive line must now have 5 linemen with the numbers 50 through 79. Here they're in an exception, but the formation does not meet the requirements of this rule.
Well, it's a great explanation, Reg. It really is. I'm not so sure I like the rule very much. Marcus is hot. Don't know if they reported as eligible. Can they report as eligible, Reg, and get in those positions?
No, Coach, that's irrelevant. Unlike on Sundays, the only requirement to be is 50 through 79. Now, if 24 was not directly lined up behind the center and our punter number 16 is the only player in that formation to receive the snap,
then it's okay.
This would have been a good play.
Wow.
I appreciate the thorough explanation, Reg. I think our fans do too. And it's unfortunate that play gets taken away, because absolutely love the creativity and the execution and the courage. The minus 28-yard line to call that play. I still think we're going to see it all across football the next few weeks.
Well, this time, Rendell will put it away to Ethan Davies. And Davies is met, still on his feet. Ball is loose. You got Max Hurleman in the fray there, 37. He's always a part of these special teams.
He sure is.
Scrums. Virginia ball, they say, after all of that. That's Drake Bowen, number 34, meeting Davies and separating the ball. And then Virginia, you can see there with the recovery.
Wow, never a dull moment here at Notre Dame Stadium.
Wow. Coming up on 3 minutes left in an entertaining opening half. And going to work is Calandria. That one knocked away. Intended for Malachi Fields. And it was Leonard Moore, the true freshman cornerback on the coverage.
Boy, is he an impressive player. They said he came into training camp and didn't blink. He felt like he belonged right away. And Benjamin Morrison goes down. They put him in that spot, and they keep playing the same coverages, and he keeps showing up. He's a big-time player.
See if the Cavaliers can get something going here, trailing 14-0. All three of their timeouts left. On the ground they go, and a gain of 1 or 2. We'll bring up third down as we check in with Zora. Pretty busy there on the sidelines, Zora.
Yeah, Dan, I'm trying to keep track. I'll start with Notre Dame. Jaden Greathouse did get some medical attention. He was doing shoulder rotations with his right shoulder. He remains on the sideline. For Virginia, let's start with defense. Corey Thomas, the safety, he walked off. We saw that, foot to the head. He will be out for, a certain period of time. I'll continue after this.
Sorry, Zora, things are happening at an alarming rate. We've got a Don Schuler trying to go to the pylon. Just short of the touchdown. 46-yard return by Schuler. Flips the fortunes again for Virginia.
The ball. Don Schuler, the redshirt freshman out of Irvington, New Jersey. He used to go to those Al Golden diners, too. He knows the menu. Stepping up in front on the in-cut, reading the quarterback's eyes. And look at this guy. He looks like a running back. Cutting back inside. Been a playmaker all year long. Blitzing, tackling, intercepting. Don Schuler making a huge play for this Irish defense, and they're knocking on the door one more time. And I'll bet the house Riley Leonard's going to run this one in.
You think? What is it? Get the bib on.
Yeah, get the bib on. Here he comes.
Leonard usually gets the call. Nope, they're going to pass it and fool everybody, including us. Cooper Flanagan with the latest Irish touchdown. Everybody in the building, including this booth, thought it was going to go to Leonard, at least to Love. But it's Cooper Flanagan who picks up the latest Irish touchdown.
It is amazing how the energy of this place changed after the fake punt that was called back. His crowd is going absolutely crazy. Don Schuler makes the interception. And then you said it. Everybody thought it was going to be Riley Leonard one more time. Tendencies are good. You can use them to your advantage. Mike Denbrock did that time.
That was the third interception by Don Schuler. He had a pick 6 against Georgia Tech as Jeter makes it a 21-0 game. So Schuler, like Al Golden, who knows his way around those New Jersey menus, Schuler from Irvington, New Jersey, sets up the Irish on the doorstep, and Riley Leonard says, I don't have to score all the time.
There were 48 guys on Virginia's defense in the backfield getting ready for Riley Leonard. It's a great call. They're so good at the quarterback runs and the runs that Jeremiah loves, so why not on first down, stick the ball in, pull it out, and give Cooper Flanagan, your tight end, a chance in the back of the end zone. A great call, excellent execution. The tide in this game has turned to a sloppy and sluggish for the Irish early. The whole momentum has changed, and now they're doing push-ups in the stand.
A few marshmallows flying through the stands as well. All 21 Notre Dame points coming off Virginia turnovers. And that is exactly what Coach Tony Elliott could not afford to see happen. So Eric Goins with his latest kickoff here, and Tyree will watch it sail over his head. With 2:20 left, we'll see if Calandria and the Wahoos can get something going here.
Yeah, really important for Anthony in this situation not to look at the scoreboard and just try to go execute ball plays. I don't think their answer is to try to run the ball at Notre Dame's defense. Try to run the ball in space, get some quick screens going, get some bubbles going, and when you get a man-to-man opportunity, that's when you take a shot. But he's got to be careful with the football here. If they go in 21-0 or better, they have a chance in the second half. If it gets any worse, it's going to be tough coming back in the final 30 minutes. There we go.
Calandria going to the left side. Sedarian Harrison, who is his roommate. Harrison had a nice trick play, gadget play, completion to his roommate Anthony Calandria in a gadget play, which worked last week. Second down and 6. Up-tempo here, Calandria going to the air again. This pass juggled in and out of the hands of Andre Green Jr. Christian Gray on the coverage as we have reached the 2-minute timeout here in the opening half. Calandria 6 of 16, 53 yards, 1 interception, and Notre Dame has taken advantage of all 3 UVA turnovers, turning them in to Notre Dame scores. One updates, go to the All-State halftime report. You've got Heisman favorite Hunter, Colorado dominating Utah, and then #1 Oregon trying to stay perfect, unbeaten, traveling to Wisconsin to take on the Badgers. Down 21 zip on 3rd and 6. Calandria picks up the first down, and he goes to his big main target, Fields, to do it.
Fields really an impressive route runner. We saw him catch the slant inside. That's just the in cut. Spins back around and makes a really strong hands catch.
Calandria going right to work on 1st and 10 through the air. Buying some more time. Chased, flag on the play. And we'll see what this latest flag is all about.
It's going to be a holding.
Yep.
Holding. Offense. Number 54. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, it's one of the challenges when you have a quarterback like Calandria here. This is Steen, the right tackle. When he continues to move out of the pocket, sometimes the offensive linemen don't know where he is. He bounces out the edge. And the other reason the holding penalty is the guy that was rushing. This Bryce Young, this freshman. He's Bryant Young, the great Notre Dame great Hall of Famer from the 49ers. It's his son, and one thing I do believe in is genetics, because he's got him.
He is a freak. He's special. Everybody knows it. Here's Calandria running for his life again. Tries to set up for this one. Passes behind his receiver, and this is picked off by Moore. Another turnover.
You have to play this play. You can't say, hey, we're going to score 21 points at once. Calandria moving left, throwing back inside. Notre Dame is fast. They're opportunistic. They're ball guys. Look at Leonard Moore.
Look at
That's
this
the freshman. Juggling, the concentration, the athleticism to finish it. Now Notre Dame knocking on the door one more time, trying to get another score before half and blow Virginia out of the stadium.
Moore took a hit here after he juggled this one successfully. He was kind of holding the back of his head as he went off the field. Took a shot, but Calandria watches another turnover. Turn of the potential points here for Notre Dame with still minute 23 left here in the half to try to increase this 21 zip lead. And Leonard goes to work on the far sideline to his tight end, Mitchell Evans. And we've talked about this passing game of Notre Dame improving and all the wide receivers that Leonard has at his fingertips. When they were talking about, well, where's the ball going to go? Mitchell Evans approached Leonard earlier this year and he said, don't worry, Riley. When I get back, it doesn't matter if I get a pass. 1, 2, 3. It's all about winning the game. And Riley Leonard really appreciated Evans' comments, and he's been the main target for Leonard today. Goes underneath here to Ramirez Williams this time, down to the 15-yard line for another Notre Dame first down, gain of 10.
And that unselfishness is what this Notre Dame offense is all about. Receiver production hasn't been huge. They're a running team, but they seem to take turns, and they're all ready for their opportunity when they get them.
1st and 10 from the Virginia 16-yard line, trying to take advantage of yet another turnover. Plenty of time for Leonard. Now being chased out, throws it complete to the 5-yard line, and diving for the pylon for the touchdown. Guess who? Mitchell Evans.
And you talk about patience. Right here, Mitchell Evans is open early in the flat. There's nobody covering him. Leonard looks left, he comes back. He just stays patient, he stays friendly on the sideline, and then the big fella, he knows what to do once he gets it in his hands. 260 pounds, calling for the rock. Riley puts it on his face mask, and go get it.
We had a wonderful conversation with Evans yesterday. Big guy, soft heart. He's got his mom, Jody, here on senior day. She was a college volleyball player at Akron. His sister, Casey, standout volleyball player at Georgia. He says, when I got down with my injuries that happened, I went to my sister, and she's been through a lot of the same things, and that really helped him persevere through that injury comeback from last year. So Jeter provides the latest extra point and the latest touchdown off another Virginia turnover. This time going to Mitchell Evans with his second touchdown catch of the year. Good to see a smile back on the face of Mitchell Evans coming off that ACL tear a little more than a year ago. And he will be a huge component for the Irish down the stretch of this season. They've got, of course, Army at Yankee Stadium next week. Army a perfect 9-0. Then they go to USC, and then they wonder about the college football playoff and where their seeding will be. Up 28-zip here. Fair catch called here for Virginia. 4 touchdowns by Notre Dame, all off Virginia turnovers. Other than that, there have been 5 3-and-outs. So it's been kind of feast or famine for Notre Dame, and this roller coaster ride for Anthony Calandria continues. Look at the games 1 through 3. After that good start, 4-1 Virginia went. Then they went to that 3-game slide. Calandria was sacked 10 times in the blowout loss to North Carolina. He was sacked 6 times last week in the victory over Pitt. But the momentum that we saw in Pittsburgh last week has not translated over here against Notre Dame, another ranked opponent. So on the ground goes Xavier Brown, and that ball looked like it was loose, but I believe Brown is called down before Heinisch rolled on it.
It's first down.
It's really been boom or bust for Calandria over the last couple of years. Certainly has playmaking ability. As we look at the end of this play, looks like that right knee is down, the left knee's down too before the ball comes out. Calandria's got him on the ball.
Calandria going for a home run ball, a far sideline. And with him step for step was Rod Hurd on Chris Tyree.
But he's been a guy who's shown some playmaking ability, but you're never going to win on a consistent basis if your quarterback is not consistent. And it's been 2 boom or bust. His decision-making has been shaky. He plays really well and does some spectacular things, but then has had some really bad turnovers that really puts his team in tough situations. So as he matures and plays more, it has to be a little less uneven. He's got to even out his play and be more consistent play at that position.
Goes to the near side to his favorite target, Fields, who spins for about a 4-yard gain. Clock rolling down, 22 seconds left in this opening half for Tony Elliott, who was at his alma mater Clemson for 11 years under Dabo Swinney before taking this job at Virginia. He really has given a lot of credit to Dabo Swinney in molding him as a coach. Even though he's had just 3 wins in each of his first 2 seasons, he won a part of 2 national titles at Clemson. They went to the title game, 4 college football playoff appearances, so he knows what it takes. He's just run into a tough Notre Dame team today, and you can't get it done when you're turning the ball over all this time.
Yeah, Elliott was one of the most respected assistant coaches in the country when he was at Clemson, and they were having all that success. And the perfect guy for this Virginia program. We visited with him the other day, and he's trying to instill a culture and environment there where these kids can be their best. He learned a lot from Dabo at Clemson. He's trying to do the same thing at UVA.
Dabo was his position coach his senior year at Clemson, and really has shaped his coaching. Calandria with another pick. Unbelievable. Xavier Watts.
It's just an in cut by Malachi Fields. And Xavier Watts, playing that deep safety, just drives on the ball. You can tell throughout this ball game that Calandria has had a hard time recognizing the coverages that Al Golden is playing. A lot of man-to-man coverage, but then there's been disguise. And you saw right there, he thought Watts was going to be deep. He drives on the in cut, and there's no better ball guy in the country than Xavier Watts. One more time making a play, and Notre Dame has another opportunity to score points before the half.
That's the 4th interception by Watts this year. We told you that he had 7 last year. He's just got a nose for the ball. Leonard steps up and just dumps it out for a pretty good gain to number 83, and that would be Jaden Thomas.
Notre Dame 2 timeouts. They got 11 seconds to go here. So they have an opportunity to run at least 2 plays, 43-yard line. You'd love to get inside the 35 to kick the field goal before the half. With the timeouts, obviously you can throw the ball anywhere.
All those turnovers, you got to wonder if we'll see Tony Muskett, Calandria's backup, who was the starter last year. See if we see him the second half. But Notre Dame has its mind set on another score here. Leonard to the far side. That's complete. And out of bounds there at about the 36-yard line is Jaden Thomas. Dorian Jones on the coverage.
Important here for Riley Leonard. Understand you got 7 seconds to go. You cannot extend this play. Normal play is going to take you 4 or 5 seconds. So get back, make your decision. Should be a high percentage throw. Trying to make Jeter's field goal that much easier.
7 seconds left. Be a long field goal. They need to get a little bit more going here. Leonard wants it all down close to the 8-yard line. Incomplete. Looking for Evans again. Jonas Sanker on the coverage.
Got lucky there. Started with 7 seconds. He extended the play, threw it down the field. Lucky that thing didn't tick to zeros. It really was a makeable play by Evans, distracted by the hands. Looks like it's Sanker who's down.
Boy, they can ill afford to lose another guy on defense, right? James Jackson walked off. Corey Thomas went off the field earlier. And now their best defensive player and leader on that defensive unit, Sanker, gets up. Good to see him pop up like that.
Ball got tipped away just at the last second. Tough concentration catch for Evans. I think Jeter would have liked Riley to take a higher percentage throw just to make this kick that much easier. It's going to be from 54.
Jeter's career long is 48. And this one is way off the mark. That was an attempt by Marcello Diomede, who is the long field goal try. So I beg your pardon, not Jeter. They tried it. It was not even close, but in the end, Notre Dame goes into the locker room up big. 4 touchdowns, all of them coming off Virginia turnovers. We got the All-State halftime report coming your way next, as we'll get you back to senior day at Notre Dame Stadium with the Irish up big. Notre Dame on a mission to keep its hopes alive of a college football playoff berth and command big time thanks to some Virginia turnovers. 28-0 as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. The quarterback comparison, Anthony Calandria has made too many mistakes. It's accounted for 3 of the 5 turnovers with those 3 interceptions. The Irish defense picking him off 3 times. Also recovering a fumble. 2 of 10 on third downs. All of the Notre Dame points have come off the Cavalier miscues. They fumbled the opening kickoff, and Chris Tyree's returned to Notre Dame Stadium. A muff punt in the second quarter. Notre Dame hasn't been mistake-free. They muffed a punt in the second quarter, and they had a couple of 70-yard plus touchdowns called back because of penalties. But in the end, Anthony Calandria, a long first half for him, and we were wondering if we would see Tony Muskett, number 7, the backup quarterback, and that appears it might be the case. Calandria looking like he's not maybe going to come off that bench.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to go to Muskett here. And you know, the difference between the quarterback play of Riley Leonard, as we look at the kickoff come back out, the difference in the quarterback play has been Riley Leonard, when they haven't had great rhythm, he's kind of hung in there and thrown some completions, where Calandria got a little antsy and started throwing the ball in harm's way, and Notre Dame's defense made him pay.
That is Jaden Harrison, the return man for Notre Dame, slow to get up. As we send you down to Zora.
Yeah, Dan, UVA head coach Tony Elliott said turnovers was the problem in that first half. He said you turn the ball over 5 times against a team like Notre Dame and you're going to be exactly where we are. But he said we were going to fight and claw back because that is in our DNA. As for Notre Dame, they're up 28-0, and Marcus Freeman still has things that he wants cleaned up. Penalties was a big thing on his mind, but he did highlight the defense. He said the entire defense played lights out. He also liked the way they ended the first half with momentum and aggression.
So here's Riley Leonard and the Notre Dame offense set up at its own 16 to start the second half. And Leonard to the air, skips it well in front of Chris Mitchell.
Well, there's plenty for Notre Dame to clean up. I mean, this game has all been about the takeaways that they have had, and some of that's been because of their play, and some of that has been poor decision-making by the UVA quarterback Calandria. So there's plenty of stuff within this ball game that Notre Dame's probably not real happy about, despite the score.
Talk about the Notre Dame defense. This Notre Dame offense, as we mentioned, coming off 2 50-plus point games, looking to maybe get to the 50-point number. This is complete across the 30 to Jordan Faison. Kendrick Smith of the coverage for UVA, but not before a gain of 14.
Yeah, Faison's in the slot here. He's such a good matchup here. He runs the slant inside, and the quarterbacks call him Mr. Everything. Outstanding lacrosse player at Notre Dame. Shows his athleticism right there.
And Love with his first carry of the second half, looking for the edge. He'll get it finally and pick up a pretty good gain before Kenton Shine rolls him out. A gain of 8 for Love.
This guy just wows me almost every time he touches the football. You just see his speed, his quickness, and then the athleticism, the lateral cut to hurdle, capture the edge, beat him to the corner. We've seen the physicality of his running earlier in the game. Here's the elusiveness. He is a special running back.
Part of the rush band that we focused in the opening half. Play action here. Leonard didn't see anything, so he just takes it himself. It adds to his rushing total.
It's really an RPO. It's a run-pass option, so you're blocking the run up front, and then Riley has a decision to make. Do I like the throw? Can I pull the ball and throw it? He liked the throw, and then he didn't like it and used his feet to make a first down. Fixing his shoulder pad.
Yeah, Riley finally gets it settled. And here comes the pressure. He gets rid of it. Nicely done to avoid a loss before he dumps it out to Love for a short gain of 2. Brought down by Trey McDonald, who of course was called for the target in the Pitt game, and he's back in this second half. Well, Riley Leonard got a crash course on what it's like to be the starting quarterback at Notre Dame, right? First of all, he came off those foot surgeries. He didn't have a chance to really kind of get a hold of the playbook and make it happen. So he had the highs of highs and that win over Texas A&M, and then he came back here in the opener and they lost to Northern Illinois. This is Jadarian Price. So he saw the highs and the lows, and he was telling us yesterday, Coach, that he actually sought out the advice of Sam Hartman, the quarterback from last year, transfer from Wake Forest, who came over, and he told Riley, you know, being the Notre Dame quarterback, you are in the microscope, so don't get disappointed when things don't go right, because you're going to hear it big time. And Riley Leonard has really taken that advice to heart. Now he's trying to pick up their first third down conversion of the game, believe it or not, even though they lead at 28-0. And that was a dangerous pass picked off by McDonald, who makes his presence known immediately after he was handed the target ejection last week. Trey McDonald gets UVA a chance right here early in the third. So Leonard, they hadn't had any interceptions in a while before he dumps that in there, and McDonald was there for the taking. As you look at the new athletic director here at the University of Notre Dame, where he went to school, Pete Babakwa enjoying his first season as the AD. See if Notre Dame can make his first season a playoff run in the college football playoff. So Tony Muskett, as we mentioned, is the new quarterback for Virginia. And he starts things off with Xavier Brown along the right side. Leonard Moore runs him out of bounds. So Muskett, as we mentioned, was the starter last year. He was on and off the field. A shoulder injury had him undergo surgery in the offseason. And again, they still competed, he and Calandria, for the starting job to start the year. Calandria won the job, but Muskett has already played in fourth quarter blowouts in the Clemson and UNC games last month, so he has had some action this year. A little bit more of a consistent, reliable, less flashy kind of guy, Coach, as Chris Tyree takes the sweep. He is met by Jaden Osbury after a gain of 3.
Yeah, Muskett's a veteran guy. He's a transfer from Monmouth University in New Jersey. He's played a lot of football, and like you said, it was a quarterback competition that went right down to the last day. And when he's had opportunities to play, he's played well. More traditional drop-back passer, good decision maker, and a good arm.
Face to third down here. Musket gets some pressure, just gets rid of it. That was Leonard Moore, the true freshman, all over him as he released it.
And there he is. Al Golden continues to dial up heat in this ball game. Off the edge, Leonard Moore, the freshman, already has an interception this game. A couple pass breakups. He's blitzing off the edge. Musket can't get it out.
So Musket not able to really get in any kind of rhythm in his opening series after the Riley Leonard interception. So Virginia not able to take advantage of it. So Daniel Sparks to put this big foot into another one. This one a low driving kick. Max Hurleman is met and is brought down at the 13-yard line. As we check in again with Jordan Cornette for an update. Thank you, Jordan. In fact, SMU, 14th ranked, is a part of a tough stretch to end this season for Virginia. They'll host SMU next week, and then it'll be at Virginia Tech as another player limps off for Virginia. That's Xavier Brown. They've had a number of injuries on the defensive side as well.
That BC-SMU game, Rhett Lashley, an amazing job down there with the Ponies in Dallas, and Bill O'Brien going in there, and he's establishing a culture up there in Chestnut Hill. So it's a battle down there in Highland Park.
So Notre Dame taking over here with Jadarian Price in behind Riley Leonard. And Price gets the carry. Another good game for him. Just about 2 yards short of the first down. So Riley Leonard has learned on the run here as being the Notre Dame quarterback, as we were talking about, Coach.
Yeah, he sure has. And, you know, the head coach and the quarterback in high-profile organizations, they're almost kindred spirits. You know, they go through the same kinds of things. And the Northern Illinois loss was a rude awakening for Riley. Marcus Freeman had gone through some scrutiny already, and I think they leaned on each other during that time. And as they continue to run the football, this is who they are offensively. But, you know, I think to have a guy like Sam Hartman talk to Riley Leonard about the experience, and then have a guy like Marcus Freeman talk him through it, and understand there's going to be highs and there's going to be lows, and you just got to keep being who you are. And once he kind of understood that, he told us it kind of freed him up a little bit to play a little bit more, not be so reactive to the outside scrutiny. He's playing better and better as the year's gone on.
I think it was interesting. He told us yesterday, he says, I've fallen in love with the game again.
Yeah.
It certainly was not fun with the opening home loss to Northern Illinois, but Jeremiah Love is gone. 76 yards. He started off the game with a touchdown way back in the opening kickoff, and here he is again for his latest big romp.
This Notre Dame offensive line coming off the ball and controlling the line of scrimmage. A lot of 2-yard runs, 3-yard runs early on in the ball game become 6, 7, 10, and 70-yard runs. And once he gets in the clear, nobody's catching this guy. Big time run for Jeremiah Love and the Irish.
So this will be Zach Yoakum with the extra point. We've seen him in action for Notre Dame this year with Mitch Jeter out on and off with an injury that he was dealing with. That's the longest run for Jeremiah Love for a touchdown. 3 plays, 88 yards, capped off by the incomparable Love. Adding to this Notre Dame lead, 35-0. Who knows? They could be the first Notre Dame team since 1900 to put up 50-plus points in 3 straight games. We will see.
I'm betting on it, not against it.
For the last 2 hours, what Notre Dame basketball today.
Jeremiah Love off his second touchdown of the game. has padded this lead. He's got 117 yards on the ground. As it's now time to take a look at our players on the rise, brought to you by Hyundai, and we'll focus in here on the Irish secondary.
Yeah, they certainly are on the rise. This is Don Schuler reading the quarterback's eyes, breaking on the ball and making him pay. Good strong hands catch. Leonard Moore, as the play extends in man-to-man coverage, his eyes are up. Athleticism to stay with the ball and make the catch. And then this guy right here, Xavier Watts, breaking on the in cut. And one more time taking the ball away. Irish are elite pass defense. The secondary as good as anybody in the United States.
So Tony Muskett trying to get something going in his second series here. Downfield, wide open, flag down. He looked for Fields. And he had Malachi absolutely wide open, but we'll check on the flag.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 15, 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Just as we talk about their greatness, they get Leonard Moore. It's a really good route by Malachi Fields, who's a veteran. He goes down inside, gives the freshman an inside move to shake him loose, and Leonard gets caught holding cloth on the outbreaker.
Fields, another one of those local guys for UVA, born in Charlottesville, Virginia. Went to high school 4 miles from Scott Stadium, where Virginia plays its games. So a first down and 10 here for Muskett. Going downfield again, looking for Fields, complete. He is tough. Christian Gray is on a coverage, and he's walking around like this was not caught.
The ruling on the field is a catch and a fumble recovered by the offense. It's first down.
It was caught, but was it? He didn't have control of it coming down.
UVA's trying to get this ball snapped.
They did. Muskett is just enveloped at the 35-yard line. Heinisch all over him for a loss of 6.
I think if they had a chance to review it, that play would come back. He's got to survive the ground better than he did.
He controlled it for just a little bit, but coming down, there's no way he had that, right?
Just the way we interpret catches these days, he has to survive that ground, but credit Notre Dame to be ready to get the sack on the next ball play.
Yeah, big loss there after the big 38-yard gain by Fields. Muskett, and a play that just never really looked like it was going to happen. Heinisch has been all over the field. Jaden Osbury was in there on the pressure of Muskett.
I love the call. The screens have looked good for UVA throughout this ball game, but the pressure is so quick on the quarterback. He can't get himself in a position to throw the ball and complete. It's the second time they could have been out the gate, but the ball had to come out too quickly.
We've talked about this Notre Dame defense. They are allowing 11 points a game. They've got a 0 on the board right now. It's the best at Notre Dame in 40 years. And again, we talked about all the injuries that Golden has had to deal with, yet they just keep coming. More pressure on Muskett, gets rid of it, and the pass is complete to his tight end Neville. And he gets close to the first down inside the 20.
I think it's going to be just short here.
Yep. We got another guy down here. And it looks like it's 54 Blake Steen, the right tackle. Yep. So as another player is attended to, we'll step aside with Notre Dame leading big. There's Blake Steen, who's off the field on 4th and short, and here we go, and it's Muskett. Tony Muskett fooled everybody. 19 yards for the score. And finally, Virginia is on the board.
Hey, this is just zone read. Everybody at Notre Dame running up in there, and it's here. He crashes down. I'm going to go take the ball to the edge, and that's exactly what happened there. Very good job by Muskett making Xavier Watts miss. Watts has the quarterback there. Muskett's got a little moxie, too, getting into the end zone for the Cavaliers.
Will Bettridge adding the extra point for Virginia to make it 35-7. 5-play, 75-yard drive. And Virginia is finally on the board. Well, Wednesday marked the 2-year anniversary of the tragic shooting on Virginia's campus, which saw 3 UVA football players killed, 2 others seriously injured after arriving back on a bus ride from a class field trip. This was the scene on Wednesday. 3 bells chiming in a moment of silence from the UVA chapel. Students, including members of the football team and head coach Tony Elliott, were there paying their respects. 2 years since that unimaginable day, which occurred during Tony Elliott's first season as head coach. And we had a chance to talk with Tony earlier in the week about that day. We talked to him, in fact, the day that they had that tribute, as Jaden Harrison takes the kickoff in. And, you know, he said it's just going to be a part of the fabric of this team for forever, and a part, obviously, of a coaching experience that you couldn't ever imagine. No blueprint for what Tony Elliott and the Virginia Cavaliers football team and the entire campus went through.
It's just an unthinkable tragedy. You never think something like that's going to happen when you're in the lead of an organization or a program like that. Again, there's no playbook for how to handle that, but a lot of healing, a lot of time to recover. They canceled the last 2 games of that 22 season. They felt like the 23 season was all about trying to get things back to normal as possible for everybody.
This is Jadarian Price on 1st and 10, bouncing to the outside, so a good gain for Price as a flag comes in. But Tony Elliott was really candid with us when we were talking about it. He said, you know what, it almost broke me. I wasn't sure.
Holding. Offense, number 2. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
I wasn't sure if I could come back and do this. But in a testament to his perseverance through it all. There's Mike Hollins, who was also shot that day on the bus, shot in the abdomen. He underwent multiple surgeries, came back, played last year, and he now serves as a graduate assistant. Another student, Marley Morgan, was also injured in that shooting that day, and she has recovered. But Tony Elliott said, you know, I could have expected a lot of the players to jump ship, leave, move on, get out of the storm clouds of that shooting and what happened. But to his credit, so many of them stayed. Most everybody stayed. You've got about half the players on this team that kind of were a part of what happened 2 years ago.
Yeah, we had an amazing visit with Coach Elliott the other day, and you know what he's trying to build here with this program. First and foremost, it's about trying to develop young men, make them better people first. And again, even when you do that, to think about how you have to go through that tragedy together, it's hard to understand the whys of it, but they certainly have the right guy leading that program. He's navigated this and has been there for these players, coaches, and staff members through this tragic time. And again, it'll be with all of them for the rest of their lives. It'll be part of their fabric, but they have the right leader guiding them through it.
That is Terrell Jones, the latest of Tony Elliott's players to be helped off the field.
Thank you.
And you know, Tony's a rules guy, right? You just saw Terrell Jones walk off or be helped off the field. They call him TT. He got a start last week because the regular starter Chico Bennett had his car towed the previous night before a morning meeting. He forgot that his car was towed. He calls up Coach Elliott and he says, Coach, I'm going to be you know, not going to make the meeting. I'm going to be late. And Coach said, hey, listen, Chico, I love you, but rules are rules. And he didn't get the start last week. But that's just another, you know, aspect of what Tony Elliott stands for. He's a rules guy. He learned a lot about that from Dabo Sweeney. And of course, you can't be taught anything about what he went through a couple of years ago on the Virginia campus.
Well, it starts with how much he cares about his players and his staff. And when you care so much about them, you care enough to discipline them and make sure there's some structure in the organization and hold everybody accountable. And again, you're developing young men. And when you do that on a consistent basis, ultimately they'll be better for it.
Another 3rd down and long. Flag comes in. Notre Dame is 0 for 6 on 3rd down conversions today. So many of those have been from
Ball start. Offense.
long range, and this one just got longer.
Penalty. 3rd down.
Yeah, in the first half, they had a 16, a 13, a 15, and a 22. So those third and extra longs, you're not going to make very many of them. I don't care how good your offense has been playing. And a lot of it's been self-inflicted wounds. The pre-snap penalties have killed them.
There was Aeneas Williams called with that one. So now 3rd and 13 for Leonard. Steps up. Big completion down to the 45-yard line. That is Jaden Harrison. There's a little bit of that arm strength that Riley Leonard has. Just haven't seen a ton of it this year.
It sure is. Watch how Riley climbs up in this pocket and delivers a strike into the middle of the defense. When those safeties split, you have an opportunity to get a guy down the pipe. And the second time in this game, Harrison has run to the post, and Riley Leonard's been right on the money.
He's passing again here on first down. Pump fake, complete. Nicely done. Complete to Williams for another first down into Virginia territory.
Aeneas Williams is a really interesting player. He's a true freshman. They play him a lot in third down situations, and he's mature beyond his years. Watch him just sit in the hole right in behind the defender. Quarterback friendly for Riley Leonard. He sees it, he puts it on him, and a good run after the catch.
That was a 21st completion for Leonard. That's the most this year. Dodges some traffic and then runs out of it and picks up another first down. That is what Riley Leonard can do at any given time.
What happens over the course of the year is you play with a guy like Riley Leonard and you see him so productive running the ball, you start becoming a better blocker. We see it down in the low red zone all the time, but these running backs, they get out in space. Okay, Riley, you're behind me. I'll get that guy right there. And Riley, with those old man moves, captures the edge. Another big run for the Irish.
Leonard needs to get on the board, right? Doesn't have a rushing touchdown. He must feel left out of the scoring barrage. That is Jadarian Price with the latest carry as we check in with Zora.
I talked to Sam Hartman about those conversations with Riley Leonard, and he said he just wants to be a listening ear for Riley, just like Ian Book was for him. Sam told me there can be a lot of weight on your shoulders when you're at the quarterback at Notre Dame, and Sam encouraged Riley to enjoy all of it. This is Sam's first time at Notre Dame Stadium as a fan, by the way, too. He's really enjoying that.
Thanks, Zora. You don't really know what you're going through as a Notre Dame quarterback until you go through it. That was the message that Sam gave Riley. Sam now in the practice squad for the Washington Commanders, trying to continue his playing career. 2nd down and 9. And Love blasting up the middle for his latest game.
You know that big statue of Atlas right next to 30 Rock, the NBC studios
Very
in New York?
familiar with it,
He's got the world on his shoulders, and sometimes when you're the head coach or the quarterback at a place like Notre Dame, you feel like you're carrying the world every week, and it's important for those guys at some point to say, hey, I'm just going to do my job. Let's throw the world off my shoulders. I'm just going to be 1/11th of this offense, or just do my job as best I can, free up and have some fun. That's usually when you do your best.
On 3rd and 4, just kind of one-hands it. Leonard now stops short of the line. Big-time surge coming in against him by Virginia.
I think they're going for it.
They have gone for it a lot this year on 4th downs, and they've been successful a lot. This one is 4th and 1 at the Virginia 15-yard line.
They've been really, excuse me, Dan, they've been so effective handing the ball off to the runners in these situations. And also Riley Leonard, short yards and goal line, he's so dangerous. So that combination, tough for this Cavalier defense.
The give to Love, and he picks it up inside. Deep into territory here now for the Cavaliers as Notre Dame has its sights set on another touchdown.
He looked like a rocket ship going through this. Oh my God. Good push by this Notre Dame offensive line, and he was low and quick and explosive. Free guy in the hole. Not this time. Jeremiah Love is on fire today.
This is 1st and goal. Ball is sitting just inside the 10-yard line.
Push it 820.
And Leonard will give it to Love. Tries to jump his way, maybe a yard or two.
Nothing like these situations. You're an offensive line and you're a good rushing football team. Handing the ball to your runners in essentially a 4-minute situation. When you're up 28 at the end of the 3rd quarter, they're going to run this thing out. And time again, it's the defense that gets tired. The edge comes off of them a little bit, and the offensive line gets stronger and stronger. That's what Notre Dame's trying to do right now. Seal the deal.
Second to go for the 9. Love gets the call just to the 5-yard line. For a gain of 4 as the clock ticks down the last seconds here of the 3rd quarter. And that should be the final play before we head to the 4th, and Notre Dame up by 28 comfortably. The big 52-3 win over Florida State. They racked up 50+ points against Navy. And now knocking on the door here again as we go to the final quarter in the final regularly scheduled home game at Notre Dame Stadium. Big day for Love, big day for a lot of Notre Dame players. Living on a prayer song, playing to start the 4th quarter here. A little light show to liven things up a little bit in the final quarter. Again, Notre Dame fans are hoping this isn't the last home game, and it is a distinct possibility that they could host a playoff game December 20th or the 21st, depending on how all the college football playoff rankings shake out. Again, Notre Dame cannot get a bye since they're not part of a conference championship. So the best seed they could get is number 5, but they may end up with a high enough seed to host here again when maybe some snow's flying in South Bend. So 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Leonard just tossing it Flanagan's way, which will bring up 4th and goal.
They come back with play action. Thought it might be 4-down territory, run it. They go play action instead, and Virginia's ready for it. They do a good job playing out of there, trying to hit the deep crossing route to Flanagan. Nothing there, but Marcus Freeman's leaving the offense out there.
Why not, right?
Going for it on 4th and goal from the 5.
What do you think, Coach?
I would not bet against a Riley Leonard run.
Well, he proved us wrong earlier. He doesn't have a rushing touchdown yet. He's going to try to throw this one for now. Looking. Soft toss into the end zone. Incomplete. Mitch Evans couldn't come up with it. Evans already with a touchdown catch earlier in the game, but Leonard not able to connect with his tight end.
Riley wants this one back. It just gets tipped.
Yep.
I thought he pulled the string on it and tried to lay it too much, but a good job tipping that ball away. Dorian Jones getting that left hand up, preventing the touchdown. High and firm on the back line to a big guy like Mitch Evans. Not there.
Leonard wanted that one. Leonard already with 3 touchdown passes today. His career high is 4. As Virginia takes over deep in its own territory, down 35-7. Musket has taken over for Anthony Calandria. Nothing going there and trying to connect with Fields.
Another one of those RPOs. They just weren't on the same page outside. And Musket has given this Cavalier offense a little bit of life, but nothing like going against the arguably as good a defense in the country and to shatter your own goalpost down 28. Not an easy situation.
And nothing going here either for Brown. But getting back to a possible home game here in playoffs. You got this 12-team new college football playoff thing coming our way, Coach. It's going to be really exciting, I think, to have a home team atmosphere in a playoff.
It's going to be wild. And Notre Dame, assuming they finish this one up, 8 straight wins, and every one of them has been essentially a blowout. So they're proving they're one of the best teams in the country, and they're proving that they deserve an opportunity to host one of these things. And trust me, these Notre Dame fans, if they're hosting a playoff game, this place will be nuts.
3rd down and 11 for Virginia. And they give it to Brown. Spins his way for a nice pickup and a 1st down. But the Notre Dame administration actually made some accommodations for a possible playoff hosting date. The dates are December 20th and the 21st. Back in July, the administration made the decision that they were going to move up the last day for final exams so they could have students can have access to their dorms so they could be a part of it full throat here if it happens.
And it's really good foresight by the administration, but everybody connected with the team is real careful to say, hey, we're focused on today's practice and this week's game. You know, they're not waiting with bated breath as the brackets come out on Tuesday. It really means nothing to them. And we asked Riley Leonard, what's the difference between Duke and Notre Dame? He said, I go to class on Monday or Tuesday, and all my classmates tell me what's going on with the bracket. He's like, I don't even know what's going on with the bracket. I'm just trying to get through Tuesday's practice.
Leonard told us that he signed off on social media about 2 years ago as Kobe Pace gets the carry. And he said it's led to a much more comfortable life, especially, again, we're talking about being in the spotlight of Notre Dame. When things go bad, you hear about it. So he's kind of tuned things out, and that's what the mantra has been for Marcus Freeman. And they still talk about that Northern Illinois loss. They still use it as fuel down the stretch more than 2 months ago.
And I loved our conversation with Al Golden the other day as we look at them pressure one more time, getting after the quarterback.
Down goes Musket, and a sack for Notre Dame.
That's what they do.
Jack Kaiser in his 63rd game in a Notre Dame uniform. Picks up the 2nd one for Notre Dame.
3rd and long against these guys. It's heat, more heat. They're going to play man-to-man coverage across the board, and you better be ready to handle it. Kaiser running over Pace and going to get the quarterback. That's what they're all about. Good for Jack Kaiser. He's played more games in a Notre Dame football uniform than anybody in this storied tradition. Having a great day on Senior Day.
Timeout.
So a timeout call by Virginia. Pinned deep down, punting out of the end zone on 4th and 16. And that gives us a moment to check in again with Jordan from the studio for another update. Penn State rolling, Notre Dame rolling here, 35-7.
You mentioned the Northern Illinois game. We talked to Al Golden the other day, and we said, hey, what about coaches saying, hey, next play, 24-hour rule, go to the next game, as we see Virginia putting out of their own end zone.
This will give Daniel Sparks a chance to show off that big leg. And calling for the fair catch. Still inside Virginia territory is Max Hurleman. And the Notre Dame offense coming out again. And Peacock. So Notre Dame set up from the Virginia 42. Riley Leonard is still in there, and he's running for his life here as flags come in, as he was getting some big-time pressure. You got to wonder how long they'll leave Leonard in here. I know there's still
personal foul.
12 minutes
illegal
left.
Hands to the face. Offense. Number 59. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
That is on Emil Wagner, the right tackle.
We talked about how UVA was going to scratch, claw, and fight the whole game. More evidence of that right there. Wagner is the right tackle. Gets the hand up inside that left hand, stays up in the face. It's a good call. There's Leonard getting hit at the end of the down. And again, they find themselves way behind the chains. Looks like we have an injury down here.
This is Love, who's a little slow and limping off. Checking him out a little bit. 8th penalty for Notre Dame today. And now faced with his first down and 25. Remember, this drive started at the Virginia 42. And right up the middle goes Williams.
Yeah, just to finish that thought on the Northern Illinois game, I think Notre Dame's response has been off the charts. And you talk all the time as a coach, hey, get to the next play, get to the next week, 24-hour rule, all those kinds of things. But you can tell they've done that. And Al Golden told us, hey, we got to the next game. We destroyed Purdue the next week, but we like to keep a little bit of that bad taste in our mouth, like 1%. Like keep reminding ourselves that, hey, we got to play with that kind of edge. That's when we play our best. They've done a really good job of that.
Second down and still long. 16, and Faison had it and lost it. And it's ruled incomplete. Kendrick Smith in the coverage for Virginia. That'll bring up 3rd and long. Well, he had it for a second. No, not really ever. Oh, there he. Nope.
A simple coaching point, you take your eye off the ball, you're not going to catch it quite as well. And Faison, really good hands. Not real happy with that one. But again, Notre Dame finds themselves in 3rd and extra long. This has been the story of the day. They haven't had great offensive rhythm because of the penalties they've gotten behind the chains.
A huge 3rd down to gain, average of 10.6. Spot, they come close to this one as Deion Colsey gets his first call of the night. But that'll bring up 4th down.
An excellent job by Colsey, just getting up the field north and south, getting the big bodies out there in space, but he hits it downhill and gives himself a chance, certainly 4-down territory here for Marcus Freeman, and I'm betting on 13 carrying this one.
Okay. You're on record, Coach.
Little side bet. You and me, Hicks.
4th down. I don't know if I'm going to bet against you. I'll bet against you. I'm saying Aeneas Williams gets it behind him. Pay up.
All right, owe you a cheeseburger.
So a big gain on 3rd down gets them close to the line again, and Marcus Freeman applauds a first down achieved by Aeneas Williams, the 5'10" freshman.
Just love how Notre Dame is playing freshmen on both sides of the ball. These young players, coaches having trust and confidence in these guys to go out there and play in some big moments. It's paying off for them over the course of this season.
Good news, Jeremiah Love is back behind Leonard on this first down and 10 call. And they give it to him. Jeremiah inching his way up inside the 25-yard line for a gain of 6.
Been talking about these running backs, but how about the big guys up front controlling the line of scrimmage, both in pass protection. This is the touchdown to Harrison early on in the ball game. Could make a ham sandwich back there. Now the run game. Rocco Spindler moving people out. Coogan sealing his man off. One more time, they run right. Flanagan kicks his guy out. Wagner getting to the 2nd level. The runners have been big time, but it starts with the big guys up front. They're getting better and better every week.
And they've helped Love earn his 3rd 100-yard game of the season, the longest, his best 100-yard game of his career. 137 yards on the ground for Love. Leonard scampering back there, trying to buy some time, looking for somebody downfield, incomplete. And Leonard got some good pressure there from Ben Smiley. And again, Coach, you want to let these guys feel the confidence, senior day and all of that, but you wonder when Marcus Freeman and company might go for the 2nd team and go down the depth chart a little bit and make sure these guys stay healthy the rest of the game and season.
I'll try to get into Marcus's thought process here. He's hoping they score a touchdown, go up 42-7.
And then that's your time.
And then there you go.
Looking for another first down, just short of it. Almost got there. Aeneas Williams for a gain of 4, but that'll bring up another 4th down and short.
Is there a team in the country that has more 4th and shorts than Notre Dame? I feel like they have 5 or 6 of these every game, and they're pretty darn good at it. Among the better teams in the country because of their ability to control the line of scrimmage and run the ball with their runners. and with their quarterback. And let's double the bet here. I say they go with Leonard this time. This is 2 cheeseburgers or nothing.
2 or 3 on the 4th down tries today. Here we go with Williams.
I owe you 2.
So they move the sticks. Clock continuing to roll, just over 8 minutes left. As Marcus Freeman looks to rack up his 8th straight win. What a run after the loss to Northern Illinois. I mean, this stadium was deflated. We were here when they lost. It's really, one of the biggest upsets of the college football season. But like you said, Coach, they've used it as fuel.
They're going to look back and say it's the best thing that ever happened to them. You look at their record, they beat Louisville by a touchdown. Everything else has been...
Ooh, Williams met right at the line by Mike Diatta.
Yeah, they beat Louisville by a touchdown, but all these other games, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns. They win by 50, they win by 40. The average margin of victory has been 32 points over the last 7 games. And
we've given the defense a lot of love, Coach, but the Notre Dame offense has already set school records this season in points scored, total touchdowns, and this is a program that has played 135 seasons. So this offense is slowly kind of catching up to all the great marks that the defense has set. Defense still has really been the story for Notre Dame this year, but Riley Leonard and this offense just continues to sync up week after week, and that'll bode well as they get ready to go to Yankee Stadium and play an unbeaten Army team, which is 9-0. Army has a bye this week, so they'll come in fresh, looking for the upset as that storied series goes back to Yankee Stadium once again.
What a job Jeff Monken has done there at Army. I mean, they are so good. Talk about another elite defensive team. They're right there with Notre Dame and keeping the score down, but they're back to their old style of play, option football, and week in and week out, they are hard to beat.
And then again, a trip to Los Angeles against the USC Trojans looms in the distance as the next 2 games to finish off the regular season for Notre Dame. They want to finish off this one in style. Leonard to the end zone, incomplete. Wanted Evans again. So that brings up 4th down and 10. And again, we've seen all sorts of kickers from Notre Dame. We've seen, obviously, Mitch Jeter. He was hurt. This is Zach Yoakum, who took over the kicking duties from Jeter when he missed a couple of games earlier in the year. We saw Marcello Diametti attempt a field goal, the first field goal of his career, 54-yarder earlier in the game. And now Zach Yoakum in here from 36 yards to make it a 38-7 game, and that one wide to the left. Marcus Freeman wanted a little more insurance from his kicker, not able to get it to come up empty with 6 to go. McCree's Italian Bakery in downtown South Bend, open since 1978, making some beautiful custom cakes and cookies for Senior Day. And we would be remiss, Jason Garrett, if we didn't mention the 3rd annual Notre Dame on NBC football soup contest.
Incredible.
That was completed today, and what was it, a corn chowder?
The corn chowder, number 4, won in a landslide.
Yep. And
11 other soups, though, were spectacular.
You were the deciding vote for 3rd place, by the way.
I was.
Virginia, 6 minutes left. Taken over at the 20-yard line. Pass is high, but it's hauled in there nicely by J.R. Wilson. His first catch of the game.
Yeah, you do an excellent job announcing the winner at the soup off. I felt like you were doing Phelps or Ledecky, going for gold. It was fantastic. Tremendous drive.
2nd down, Musket scrambling, kind of throws away from his body, incomplete. You just saw Al Golden there, and we've talked about the historical numbers that Notre Dame's defense has been putting up this year. We had a long conversation with him yesterday, the best we've had all year, just about kind of getting inside that beautiful defensive mind of his. And he can trace his days back to UVA. He was a graduate assistant and has a master's in sports psychology. That's the class he took while he was there. And you know who his instructor was? A guy by the name of Bob Rotella.
The guru.
Yeah. Nice carry here by Noah Vaughn. But Bob Rotella is probably the most renowned sports psychologist in the world. Of course, is mostly well known for his work with golfers and Rory McIlroy. But there's Al Golden, graduate assistant on the UVA campus. Musket on the run, kind of ad-libbing here, and a nice completion there to Jaden Gibson for a Virginia first down.
Cavaliers continue to battle here, but Al credits a lot of his success to getting trained by George Welsh, the head coach at UVA at the time, a relationship with Rotella, coming back a few years later, working for Al Groh as the defensive coordinator.
Musket's going to run this out of trouble and pick up a pretty good gain. Down to the Notre Dame 46-yard line. A gain of 7 from Musket.
Really can't overstate the impact that Al Golden has had on this defense and on this Notre Dame program. Just done an amazing job. He's a heck of a football coach.
Second down, quick hit out to the far side. Not much going there. You know, I talked to Bob Rotella. I said, you remember having Al Golden in your class? And he says, I absolutely do. I said, what do you remember about him? He goes, I knew he was going to be a great football coach. I said, why do you think he was going to be a good football coach? He said he was curious about how you as a coach can make others great. He said he just had question after question about that. And he just said you could tell Al Golden was a really intelligent guy. And he goes, I just knew that he was on for bigger and better things.
And that's what coaching's all about. He's a masterful X's and O's coach. His design is incredible, but what makes him great is create an environment for your individual players to be their best and for the unit to be their best, and psychology is a big part of it. How many times did we hear Marcus Freeman this week talk about the mindset of the football team since the Northern Illinois game? It starts there. And a guy like Bob Rotella, who was at the start of sports psychology, a guy like Al Golden benefited from it and impacted a lot of guys along the way.
4th and 2, they pick up the first down, and Virginia keeps this drive going. And just to kind of cap off Al Golden, you wonder if he's going to have his shot down the road at another head coaching job. I honestly don't know how interested he is. I mean, he loves Notre Dame. He says there's not too many places that could take me out of the assistant coaching job he had with the Cincinnati Bengals, the Joe Burrow and company, and all the great talent that surrounded him around there. But Notre Dame was special as the flag comes in and stops this first down play.
Well, if you're a college president or an AD, you should talk to Al Golden if you have a head coaching position available.
Offense, number 44. 5-yard penalty, first down.
He's a fantastic coach. He's demonstrated that here at Notre Dame, but he was the head coach at Temple. Before Matt Rule turned that program around, Al Golden turned that program around, had some positive experience at the University of Miami, and played at Penn State, been around a lot of great coaches. He's had a lot of impact, positive impact on players and teams throughout the year, and I'll tell you what he's done here at Notre Dame has been exceptional.
1st and 15 now for Virginia. Musket leading this latest drive, handing off to Davis Lane, so some backup players getting some time now for Virginia. But let's talk about the head coach a little bit as well. Marcus Freeman is on the verge of winning his 28th game in his first 3 seasons, which would tie the most wins by a Notre Dame coach in his first 3 seasons. That is some pretty good stuff there for the program that's been around this long with all the great coaches that they've had. The roster shown a tremendous amount of growth and depth, and Marcus Freeman has been the guy to lead them out of that wilderness in that Northern Illinois loss to keep their hopes alive for the title. This is Noah Vaughn with a big gain here.
What's been really fun to watch, Dan, is just how he's put his stamp on this program here over the last 3 years. It's fun to see these guys reaping the benefits of it. They're not done yet. They're off to a pretty good start.
At Wisconsin.
Rolling into Camp Randall.
Yep. Never easy there. Luke Fickell and company awaiting a potential upset. They play well enough, but Oregon really has clearly been the class of football this season, trying to keep it perfect. There's Pace with another carry as a flag comes in.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 45. Penalties half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Penalties racking up. That'll irk Marcus Freeman. number 9 on the night.
I like Marcus's edge. I really do. You know, you talk about leadership. You're in these high-profile roles. You have some disappointing things happen to you. You develop some calluses and some edginess to you, and he's a great, wonderful person, but he's a competitor deep down. And I'll tell you what, it's contagious throughout this football team. He wants to finish this thing the right way.
First and 10 for the 14. Tony Muskett goes to the air, and that's complete inside the 10-yard line. You know, Marcus always comes up with these, you know, sayings each week. I mean, as a head football coach, you got to be a motivator, right? But
Absolutely.
One of the constants all year long, and it really has told the story, is his, and it's been said before other places, but team glory brings individual glory. And with all the talent that Notre Dame has had, a lot of guys have had to kind of wait their turn. But there has been no grumbling from the guys playing in the backup role, and that has led to success when they finally do get their chance, right?
No doubt.
2nd and 6. Muskett to the air, down to the 2-yard line.
I was fortunate to be on some Super Bowl teams in the 90s, and Jimmy Johnson was our head coach. And if I heard him say it once, I heard him say it 100 times. When we win, there'll be spoils for all. Everybody connected with the team will benefit, and that's what Marcus is preaching. And this entire Notre Dame program, they're buying in.
First and goal. Virginia wants to get on the board here again. Notre Dame stops the latest try.
The runner's progress was ruled stopped at 2nd down.
Noah Vaughn was the carrier there as he's getting some chances here late in this game. Sophomore from Maryville, Tennessee, just 5'8", 199 pounds. They'll give it another shot here on 2nd and goal. And he's stopped again. Wow. That was Kennedy Urlacher. Yes, that last name Urlacher, Brian Urlacher, his dad, the
Timeout.
Hall of Famer, Chicago
Virginia,
Bears
their
linebacker.
second. Please reset the game clock to 24 seconds.
Kennedy Urlacher's impressive. Marcus Freeman getting a kick out of his latest big hit. Just 24 seconds left in this one to make it official. Notre Dame on its way to its 8th straight win, trying to hold off UVA here on 3rd and goal. They've come up big the last couple of times, but they get fooled here. Muskett going for the pylon. And in for the score.
Hey, Tony Elliott's trying to build a culture here too. Fake it inside, give Muskett a chance on the perimeter, and that's what he does. Really important for UVA to continue to play for 60 minutes. That's what they're trying to build there. Muskett's done a good job giving these guys a little juice at the end of this ball game.
It was Muskett who took over for Anthony Calandri, who threw 3 interceptions in the first half. Got Cavaliers in this deep hole, never been able to dig out of it, but another score, 35-14 for Virginia and Tony Muskett, as Notre Dame is on its way to its 9th win of the season. Well, that guy from Virginia in the middle of a tough spot. Notre Dame fans cheering this one on to another victory and hoping for that home game next month. We talked about it. And we'll see if they get a chance to stay in their dorms a little longer to cheer on a Notre Dame playoff home game. But first things first, get through Army next week, and then you got to go to take on the always dangerous USC Trojans, Jason, in the finale in LA.
Long way to go. Don't get ahead of yourself, Dan.
I know it. Army on a bye week. They'll play again at Yankee Stadium. It's been such a great series there. They'll meet at the home of the Yankees for the 24th time, as Army has quite a winning streak. Not only are they 9-0 this year, but 13 straight dating back to last season. That's the nation's longest active streak. So now Al Golden and that beautiful defensive mind will go to the restaurant menu and look at the Army installation that he had. These options always make coaches nervous, though, right?
Yeah, that's the beauty of the whole thing. They've worked on it. It's part of the menu. Not going to be new inventions. They'll be on top of it, faced a little bit of the same kind of offense against Navy. So they'll dial it up and hopefully be themselves next week when they go play at Yankee Stadium. It's must-see TV next Saturday night.
Steve Angeli with a last victory formation stance. And Marcus Freeman wins another one. 8 straight for Notre Dame after the home loss here to Northern Illinois. The march goes on. We've got Big Ten Saturday night coming your way. #1 Oregon against Wisconsin for our entire team. Jason Garrett, Zoran Stevenson. We bid adieu from South Bend. And what appears to be like maybe not the last home game, but we'll see. Notre Dame wins big. We'll see you down the road.